But, with everything that we're talking about, you actually have to want to not be angry in order for this to work, right?
Yeah, and I've got a lot of strategies coming from a psychological perspective that can also help. So once you've done everything you can to control the environment and work within the system, once you've done that and you feel like there's not much else you can do about that, then you need to turn to yourself and you really need to kind of look inward and say, okay, what can I change about me, about the way I'm reacting to this stuff to help me be healthier and happier and to have more fun while I'm playing this game.
Fun being the key word there.
Fun, right? That's why you play these games, right? It's
right.
To relax and to have fun. When you end up getting so ticked off about everything, are you really having fun anymore? And
getting rid of the stupid people is not a solution.
No.
That's not reasonable at all.
It's not reality based. Reality is that you're going to be interacting with stupid people all the time, and the way you react to them is under your control.
Yep.
You can't just get rid of all of them. You have to change yourself.
Yes.
So one thing to kind of keep in mind as you're working on yourself is to really take a look at what's making you angry. So often psychologically, we talk about anger as a secondary emotion. So our primary emotions are kind of really the basic emotions. So there's things like sadness, happiness, fear. And then anger is talked about as a secondary emotion that kind of results from some other emotion. So trying to take a look at what actually happened to cause you to be angry. So usually in these situations, it's going to be about frustration. You had a goal and you were stopped from your goal and you were frustrated. And that is a decision point for you. Once you recognize that, you can take it a couple of different ways as far as the emotion that's going to follow. Anger is probably, it sounds like it's a very common experience. It doesn't have to lead to anger. It could lead to sadness. You could get sad about it. Or you could just decide that it's not that important, that the frustration, the goal you were trying to reach just isn't worth getting upset about. And you can just kind of blow it off. So you have a decision point there when you recognize that feeling of frustration. So that's one thing, is to kind of lock into what you're actually feeling and what the decision is that you have at that point.
Yeah.
So that's one idea. I was looking at the American Psychological Association actually has a webpage all about anger management that you're welcome to go look at.
Yeah, once again, link in the description down below.
Yeah, and so what they talk about there is that often people who are easily angered have low frustration tolerance. You just don't have the ability to kind of tolerate that frustration. So sometimes like they feel like they shouldn't have to be subjected to frustration, inconvenience, or annoyance, and they just can't take things in stride. They're particularly infuriated if the situation seems somehow unjust. Which kind of, looking at the comments that we got from Facebook, lines up pretty well. This idea of unjust, not fair, inconvenience, annoyance, frustration. And all of those things are kind of leading to anger.
That's true. And I can definitely see, personally from my experience, how that could be the case. And learning how to take things in stride is really kind of an important thing.
It is.
And
we kind of talk about it as resilience. So you're able to experience difficult emotions without getting completely off balanced or unstable. Being able to tolerate those painful emotions like frustration or the sense that the world is not fair, being able to tolerate that and continue to enjoy whatever it is you're wanting to enjoy. It's an important skill for a healthy, well-adjusted adult to learn.
So as we recognize this frustration and we can sense that going into anger, well, what are some things that we could actually do in those moments?
So one thing to notice, anger is a very physical emotion. That's why it has all of those crazy health effects of being chronically angry, is because you feel the anger in your body. Your body mobilizes itself to respond to that threat in your environment. That's what anger is all about. It's activating that sympathetic nervous system. So one way to try to cut that anger cycle from getting out of hand is changing the way your body feels. So when you when you recognize that you're getting angry, you're probably breathing shallowly. You're probably tensing up your muscles. You're probably getting hot, and your face is getting red, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of what happens when we get angry. So one thing that you can do is to make a conscious decision to reverse those changes. So when you notice you're breathing really fast and really shallow, change that to a deep breath. Fill up your lungs as much as you can. Take all of that air in and then slowly exhale. Do that maybe 10 times. I know it sounds cliche, this like take 10 breaths and deep breathing thing, but it actually works.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's repeated.
Yeah, there's a reason why that's stereotypically associated with anger management, is because it works. That can kind of short circuit your body, remind your body to relax. Similarly, when you're feeling your muscles tense up, make a conscious decision to relax them. And sometimes what we do is we tell you to tense up even more, tense up as much as you possibly can, and then relax. Because you're feeling that contrast. You're like, okay, all right, I'm feeling tense, I'm going to tense up more, and then relax.
Oh, wow. Never thought about that
and
one.
just kind of check in with your whole body. Usually it's kind of up in your shoulders. It can also be in your buttocks. People's buttocks get real tense sometimes. So learn it. And your face can get all scrunched up and angry like this.
Yeah.
So just making a conscious decision to relax all those muscles and deep breathe, and you can really kind of reboot.
Yeah.
See? You feeling better?
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, that's right. Another thing to try is to change the way you're talking to yourself. So when we get angry, a lot of times we get into this cycle of, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. What a jerk. Kind of goes off just like that. And you repeat those sorts of things over and over, and that just escalates your anger. It's not helping.
Not everybody cheats. Let's be real. Not everybody cheats. Your problem isn't always lag. I mean, sometimes what we think is lag really isn't. So, I mean, and it doesn't happen all the time. It isn't always this way. Like using phrases like all the time or always or I never win.
Those extremes are not going to be helpful to you, and they're not accurate. You don't always do anything, really. So yeah, trying to recognize when you're kind of going into those extremes and just bring it back to the middle, kind of be more accurate about it. And something else you can say is, as you're doing these deep breathing and trying to release that tension in your muscles, say things to yourself like, okay, relax, man, like take it easy. It's not that big of a deal. So changing the way you talk to yourself. So like, helping yourself have those calm thoughts and repeating to yourself whatever it is that helps you to calm down.
Goosefraba.
See? It works. Whatever mantra you want, whatever helps you.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, and actually, I think that's one of the tips that some professional gamers and that do like CS:GO and Call of Duty use as things are getting heated. They're kind of saying these mantras to themselves to help them get through like the intense situations, especially as things are coming to the line and everything like that, where they're close to winning. They're trying to like get themselves in the zone to where they can be more focused and not really having the emotion in the moment. And it generally works for them.
I mean, these are techniques that any like sports psychologist would teach you to help you stay in the game and be present in the moment. It works. Just a couple of other kind of changes to thinking that you can do is kind of letting go of this need for control. We don't have control in our regular life. We don't have control in these games. It just is the way that life is, and accepting that and being okay with that lack of control.
I mean, you can never really control another person.
No.
You can't. And when you're playing PvP, It happens, and rarely do we accuse anything in a PvE situation where we're just playing against the AI and stuff like that, and like, oh yeah, I just need to get good. It's usually the blame happens when we're playing against other people, and really, honestly, you don't have complete control of the situation when you're playing against people because
there's all sorts of factors.
Yeah, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's completely unpredictable. There may seem to be a little bit of predictability with the game mechanics and things like that, but in reality, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is part of the fun if you look at it that way. That unpredictability, you never know what's going to happen. So just take it from that perspective rather than getting all bent out of shape when something unexpected stops you from getting where you want to go. The other thing is, keeping in mind that these are real people that you're playing against and trying to kind of take it from their perspective. Like if somebody's being really obnoxious because they're not good at your game and they're on your team or whatever, have you ever been the new guy?
Yeah.
Have you ever not known what the heck you were doing in a game and like kind of screwed your team over?
Yeah.
I think we've all kind of been there, and maybe they made an honest mistake. Maybe something was happening at their house that was out of their control, and so they needed to cut out of your raid or whatever. Thinking about why people might cheat in the first place.
Yeah.
Maybe this game is the only positive thing they have in their life.
Yep.
And they really feel that need to be good, that they're willing to cheat.
And if they need it that bad, maybe they should just get it, even though it's a cheap win.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, let's help each other out. And also, as far as the trash talking goes, come on, how many of us have actually never trash talked anybody ever? Like, come on. I mean, have you never ever taunted somebody? I think we all have in some way, shape, or form done some taunting. I mean, it can be heated situations. A lot of these games like Call of Duty are war, so it kind of gets that testosterone flowing and everything. And we're as we get excited in that, we say some things that just
Yeah.
And that could have been that something coming from the other side.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna dish out the trash talk, you should be able to tolerate it when it comes your way too.
Don't dish it out if you can't take it.
Right.
To be honest.
And even if you don't trash talk, you have to recognize that that's part of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unless you want to mute everybody and just not listen to it.
Yeah, or party chat, like I said before.
Party chat.
Just party chat. I mean, if you don't want to hear any of the trash talk, just party chat. Just play with friends. And if you don't have any friends that play the game, there are online communities filled with great people. There are clans and there's all sorts of groups. Me personally, I play with LDS Gamers. It's a positive community, and so that can actually help have a more fun game experience.
Yeah, that can change a lot about the game is who you're playing with, who you're interacting with there.
Yeah, but okay, so we try all these things and it's still not working. What do we do?
Yeah, so if anger is really interfering in your life, in your relationships, at work, consider therapy. If trying these things out on your own just isn't enough, having that coach there to be by your side and kind of talk you through these things and really, tailor them to your specific situation and help you problem solve and figure out how to manage this anger in your personal life. I think it's a really valuable service.
And let me just say, just because you go to therapy does not mean that you're crazy.
Nah, everybody can use a good therapist at some point in their life.
Everybody handles things in not the greatest way. I mean, we could always handle things better in life. And so going to a therapist is actually really good. And it actually speaks a lot to you being honest with yourself, realizing that some of these techniques are not working for you, and you're working with a therapist to find something that will.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, if you're getting that mad that often, if this isn't working for you, then maybe you should consider not playing the game anymore. Find something else that interests you. Just move on to a different game. Because honestly, your health isn't worth it. Your relationships aren't worth playing that game. And if you're really getting that mad, is it really that fun? No, I don't think it is. Well, definitely appreciate you coming back. I mean, I love having Callie, and I know y'all love having Callie on here too.
It's my pleasure.
And helping me talk about this, because this is really, honestly, a serious thing that happens within the gaming community.
Yeah.
And I think these things are really helpful. I mean, like, I learned a lot through this, and I hope y'all did too. But once again, thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I hope it helps.
Isn't she awesome?
Aww.
I have an awesome wife. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Geek Done Right. Hey, so did any of this help? Do you see yourself in these situations, or maybe you can talk about what gets you triggered in video game situations? Let's talk about it in the comments section down below. Let's have this conversation, and hopefully we can help each other out. And please make sure to smash that like button. It helps me out a lot. And also smash it if you want Callie to return again. I want to see lots of likes on this, y'all. Seriously, I love doing these episodes with Callie, and I want to do more. And hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I release new episodes of Geek Done Right. And also subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about it. Share the Geek Done Right love. And be ready for more great episodes, because they're coming from Geek Done Right. Until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.